Hey there everyone, AJ back again for the Mighty Gluestick channel. Demons. There are so many. They are easily one of the most diverse and horrible creature types in the Dungeons and Dragons game. They're very clearly extremely bad news for anything that encounters them which doesn't have them very tightly under control, because their very nature is chaos and destruction. Demons are the byproduct of a flaw in the D&D multiverse. They are the wretched and toxic infection that spreads like a virulent disease from the cancerous wound in space-time called the Abyss. In this new series, I will be bringing you a comprehensive catalogue of as many demon types as I can find, researched and presented in my usual style, to give you, the dungeon masters and storytellers, writers, artists and lovers of the lore, easy listening access to the collected literature of Dungeons and Dragons. I'd like to spend a few moments now, though, to talk about the major differences between demons and other monstrous, other dimensional creatures. Demons are very different from devils. A devil actually has far more in common with a celestial than it does with a demon. Demons are similar to aberrations only in that they are often very outlandish, weird, and hideous, plus they're incredibly diverse. They are evil. They derive pleasure, sometimes they even gain sustenance, from the pain, torment, disruption, mutation, and destruction of all other living beings. Plus, they have a potent legacy of disruption, destruction, and evil, and perversion that taints everything that they come in contact with, like an otherworldly poison or radiation. They don't just destroy things for the sake of it, they also leak a sort of disruptive, radioactive, supernatural evil that twists and corrupts reality, in a similar way to how the alien energies of the far realm tend to drive creatures insane and make stuff sprout tentacles and extra eyeballs. The demonic taint seems to break the rules of reality, such that demons can walk around with bodies composed of dead flesh and inorganic parts, manifest psychic powers when they actually don't possess a brain. Demons are sometimes recognizable from how they are not just a bizarre corruption of life, they're almost a parody of it, like a nightmare that is manifested as an actual living being. Demons have no true rulers, though powerful demon lords are able to gain enough power and influence to gain control over sizable armies of demonic creatures. They rule by constant threat of extreme violence. Demons tend to rise in rank through the absorption of power. Often this means the murder and consumption of other demonic beings, draining them of the abyssal energy and adding it to their own. Demogorgon, the demon prince, is a good example of how this works. One of the main reasons why he is so difficult to fight is that he can soak up the fury, chaos, and mayhem around him to increase his power. The harder you try to destroy him, the more formidable an enemy he becomes, and if he defeats you, he devours your powers and abilities, becoming an even greater threat. There are roughly 5 categories that are used to sort demons into types. The most ancient, the original cause of the Abyss itself, are the Oberth. They have, I've got another video on the Abyss and its history, insofar as is as much as known about those ancient times. These powerful demons once ruled the Abyss and are responsible for creating the Tanar'ri demons as the slave army of living weapons. The Oberth are very diverse, usually very, very weird, and some of the most evil entities in the D&D multiverse, which they are and always have been trying their best to transform into a ruined, screaming nightmare that was basically similar to the alien universe which spawned them. The Abyss, which was created by a shard of this alien universe, being used to punch a vile, twisted hole in the barriers between realities, into which the Oberth poured like the bursting rot of some cosmic abscess, unleashing a tidal wave of horrendous abominations that have been a constant threat of pan-dimensional Armageddon ever since. The secret with the Abyss is that in order to punch through the barrier between universes, between multi-dimensional universes, it basically had to be a living thing itself. So it's got an element of psychicness to it, which you'll see later. The most famous and reasonably well-known Oberths include Pale Knight, Obox Ob, Pazuzu, Dagon, and the Queen of Chaos. The Sybriax flesh warpers appear in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, so more on them later. They're pretty important. The Tanar'ri themselves are the second broad category, and they tend to have known, recognizable forms, basically programmed into them by the Oberth flesh shapers called the Sybriax. The Tanar'ri are the most numerous and widespread of the demons, and they form the power structure of the Abyss, having rebelled and taken over the Abyss after the Oberth were defeated long, long ago. The forms of the Tanar'ri are predictable to the point that they were originally referred to in the game as just numbered types, but these days we know them by their abyssal species names, such as the Alkaliths, which are disgusting masses of phosphorescent green ooze. They are often sent by demon lords into places that even other demons hesitate to go, as the Alkaliths are manifestations of toxic corruption themselves, and they're capable of surviving in even the most inhospitable environments. Arrow demons are wiry, four-armed humanoid demons that wield two longbows at once, and they're pretty common in the massive abyssal armies of many demon lords. Babau are stealthy, cunning, and sadistic, ebon-skinned humanoids with their flesh stretched over a skeletal frame with a single curved horn on their head. They are excellent abyssal assassins. The infamous Balors are huge 12-foot tall bat-winged redskin monstrosities that are among the most powerful kinds of Tanar'ri. They often command other demons, either on their own or as officers of demon lords. And in many ways, they're a lot like the pit fiends of the Nine Hells. Bar Eguras, also called Balgrurs, or leaping demons, are big, brawny, ape-like demons that are total thugs and like to travel in gangs and beat the crap out of anything weaker than them. Sara Bareilles look like large, brutal humanoids with a very hunched back who walk along on their knuckles with gaunt skeletal bodies and very dangerous psychic powers and strategic planning. The Chasme are basically disgusting and very aggressive fly demons. They are swarming, blood-sucking demons that enjoy torturing victims. Dretches are about 4 feet tall. They're slimy, ape-like demons who are some of the weakest and most cowardly, stupid of the kinds of Tanar'ri. They're like the lowest of the low. The Glabrizu are large, powerful, intelligent demons that have 4 arms, 2 of which are huge and powerful. The other pair is like a normal pair of muscular human arms. Despite their imposing physical appearance, Glabrizu tend to be subtle and deceptive, planning alternatives to the usual demon tactic of swarming and frenzied battle. Goristros are huge, ferocious demons that resemble fiendish minotaurs. Hezrau are stinky, slimy, and violent toad-like humanoids with rotting flesh and wicked spikes on their back and a mouth full of jagged teeth. Imoliths are flaming undead demons that despise all living creatures. Castagurs are massive, sadistic demons that often serve as prison guards and hunters for more powerful demons. They're hideous humanoid demons with cloven hooves, horns, and claws, and often nail armor directly onto their bodies. The Claritures are very rare and powerful Tanar'ri. They have 4 arms, bat-like wings, and a second mouth on their abdomen. Manes are 3-foot tall, bloated humanoid demons that are among the weakest and most common demons next to the Dretch. Manes are pretty much the substrata. They're almost like the pond scum of the abyss. Marilith are super impressive, intelligent demons that have 6 arms, the torso of a human woman, and the lower body of a great serpent. They typically fight with weapons such as poison swords and rarely wear any clothing. Morezes are horrific pale, hunched humanoid demons with serrated teeth and pale skin. They can take on the forms of any mortals that they have consumed. The Mollydeus are very vaguely humanoid demons that have the head, foot, paws, and tail of a jackal. They also have red-orange skin. The Mollydeus also possess a second serpentine head and neck that sprouts from the back of the first neck, so they're kind of weird looking. The Nalfeshni are grossly fat, humanoid boar-like demons with vestigial feathered wings and tusks. They are disdainful of combat, but can and do fight anyway due to the natural bloodlust of all demons. The sorrow-sworn demons can both cause and prey upon the feelings of grief and despair. They resemble gaunt humanoids with dusky grey skin, clawed hands, horns, bat-like wings, and fanged jaws set into skeletal heads. The Uridezus are cowardly demons with a rat-like appearance. They walk upright and are entirely hairless, and they have wickedly clawed hands. Finally, the Vrox are quite common, stupid demons that look like a humanoid vulture with grey skin and large feathered wings, as well as the head and beak of a vulture. Vrox are highly vicious fighters and prefer to eat their victims alive. They're basically the living embodiment of wrath and rage. The youngest race of recognizable demon forms is the Laomara, which are immaterial, wretched, and murderous spirits. Actually, The genus is quite interesting. The result of the abyss attempting to digest the dreams and memories of an entire pantheon of dead gods. These gods were baited by Demogorgon to try and destroy an entire layer of the abyss. And as the agri gods ripped and the entire layer free from the abyss lashed back, proving to everyone that it's actually alive, slaying the pantheon and all that were with them, that so only their thoughts remained. These have been transformed into the different types of Laumara. One such type is in Morden Canaan's Tome of Foes, and that's the Debuk, which is the natural form. They're a floating, horrid jellyfish-looking thing that have a simplistic face with long, writhing tentacles. But like all Laumara, they spend most of their time hunting for some physical form to possess. In the Debuk's case, it is a humanoid corpse. The Debuk was believed to have been born from the dreams or nightmares of a dead goddess of love and art. So that's kind of, they're very hedonistic. The Gwekabus from those of a god of law and peace. So the Gwekabu resemble masses of vapor, and they can possess and control sleeping humanoids. Once in control, the Gwekabus can ride silently, but will eventually begin to murder people, and especially the victim's family and friends. They can conceal their actions from the actual possessed victim. The Gwekabu believe that all spilled blood that they create forms some sort of pattern that can be understood. These are creatures born from tainted dream stuff, so they're kind of weird. What a horrible fate. The Caligrosto are considered the most sadistic of the Aomara demons, capable of possessing weapons, particularly slashing weapons, and even enhancing such weapons with magic. Once the weapon has caused damage, though, the Caligroso can manifest through, though still immaterial, and wield the still physical weapon in its own hand, its immaterial hand. So even while it's in a natural immaterial form, and the dreams therefrom, the dreams of a goddess of nature and fertility, which form there's another goddess of nature and fertility which formed the last of the Aomaras, which are the Manitaus. The Manitaus appear as a tangle of vines, each one tipped with a fanged maw. They can possess any plant, animal, or fae, but in their incorporeal form, they can literally tear apart the world around them like a demon poltergeist. Next, we have the Demon Lords. Each of them is unique, rules at least one layer of the abyss, fight constantly with other demon abyssal lords. They don't really have any organized hierarchy, just self-proclaimed titles and huge armies to enforce their rule. Demon lords are also considered to be archfiends, which defines that category of rulers of the lower planes, including the 9 archdukes of hell, the Yugoloth rulers, and however many demon lords are actually in the abyss, which I don't think anyone knows exactly for sure how many there are. Finally, the last category is just the rest of the demons, anything that can be recognized as some sort of consistent breed, but is not an Oberith, Tanari, Laumara, or Demon Lord. These include entities such as the deviously Yotchlols, which are created by Lolth, devious shapeshifting Yotchlols, the Retriever constructs, the imp-like Quasits, the Shusuva, which are big hyena-like demons created by and serving the demon lord Yenogu, and there are many more which I'll be able to bring for you. For however long I keep finding demons to talk about, I'll bring you many more videos in this series talking about specific demon types, locations in the abyss, and lore related to it. But I think that is a good, simple start to give a basic grounding in what types of demons there are. In the next videos in the series, I will talk about the demons that are the most responsible for propagating more demons, and we shall see where that general topic leads us in our studies. Thanks for listening, and I'll be back with more for you again very soon, as always.